What's going on, guys? Back with another episode of the Smooth Way Podcast. I'm your host, Destin Parker, and always we got the co-host, Kendall Allen. What's good with you, Kendall?
Good man. Welcome guys. Back again here. Um, I've noticed lately we've been losing a lot of people. We done lost Hank Aaron the week before. We lost Cicely Tyson. We done lost a couple other people. I can't remember names. It's just like something's in the air, man. I don't know if it's good to still be here or be with them. So yeah, it's been wild, man. Make sure y'all take care of y'all loved ones.
And returning guest back to the podcast, the Smooth Way Podcast, we got our boy Sim Campbell, the top shot of himself. What's good
hmm
with you, Sim? How you doing, boy? How you living?
What's good? What's good? What's good, guys? I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm glad. I'm glad to be back.
He back in the visual. This time it'll be audio and visual for this podcast episode. The last episode that we did with Sim did do good numbers with the promotion. We got probably about 100 listens. I think just about, man. It still goes. Every time someone's introduced to the podcast, it was a really great interview the last time, and we're hoping for another one this time. So today's episode, we're talking about creating black businesses. And then during this time of pandemic, with people not having jobs, it's probably the best thing to go. So I'm gonna open the floor up with you, Sim. What do you feel is something that we can do as black people to create more black businesses for people like us?
I mean, yeah, we have to create more businesses, invest in our ideas, and take lead. Also invest in our youths and teach them instead of we taking care of them, and we need to teach them to take care of themselves for the future. Because like you're saying, with the job market and everything, we can't depend on what was normal. So we do need to create, our own opportunities, definitely.
Cool. And it's like one of those things too. Is something that I think, before we got on here, we talked about how that's something that's out of our mold. We're not accustomed to really going out there and creating for our own. We're used to making someone else's thing better that's already been
Yes,
established, but to make our own stuff is not really something that we are accustomed to, and it maybe just not based on our teachings, coming up, as far
facts.
as, because, our mold, our history, guys. It's really one of those
Yeah,
things. Do the structure to get yourself to be successful. And I'm not saying schooling is something wrong with schooling, but we make it to the point where if you don't go to school, you fail in life.
yes,
And there's more to that. There's more to life than just going to school nowadays, and we are showing that through a lot of people. Sim, you have your own record label, man. You are an artist. You're making a clothing line. You're doing all this and that, and this is not with schooling. It might have some schooling in it, but it's not really just a tradition.
yeah,
Um,
yes.
and that's where we need to be at now, especially with 2021 on the horizon. Kendall, do you have let's say, what do you think is something that we need to do as black people to create more black businesses? What do you feel?
Well, for one, I don't know if it's that we're not creating black businesses because there's a lot of black owned things that are out there that people have. They just don't tout it as, a lot of people aren't about the business of just like, hey, I got this business. I think a lot of people just want to be regular people.
Okay.
Like my cousin, she has her own hair salon, and she got her own building. She's the owner of her hair salon, but
Yeah.
she's not out there promoting it like, hey, I can do this, you can do it too, or she's just trying to be like the next great cuts or something like that. So, not necessarily saying that yes, we need to create more things that come from our creation imaginations, but I think we're doing a disservice to those who are already out there doing it, whereas they're not making big noise about it. They're actually out there creating and promoting businesses for not just us, but for all people. Because let's be real too, you can't just rely on one. You just can't rely on us to be your business model. You have to eventually be able to branch off and bring in other cultures and other people to whatever you're providing.
As far as the
So,
demographic goes, like
so
expanding upon your
yeah,
demographic instead of
so
just focusing on one. And I get that. Okay, I
Yeah,
get that.
and
yeah,
and
because I mean, you don't become a multi-millionaire just like I'm gonna just focus on black people. You know, you at some point you have to be like, how am I gonna take my vision for what I have? Even though it could be something like, if you're a hairstylist, you might just, you know, you might be just, maybe you're just central on doing ethnic hair. Whereas there are a lot of, like, for my cousin, there's a lot of white women who get extensions, and she does people of different ethnicities, sorry, who get like hair extensions. So I think it's more of like, as you guys mentioned, just getting out of our own way to create something that we want to do.
Okay. Go ahead, Sam. What were you about to say?
No, I agree with both of you guys, right? I really agree with what you said because I feel like a lot of things are cultural. We wasn't taught a certain way how to go about it. So even now, I do have a business. There's a lot of things I don't know that I'm learning firsthand. I'm even learning the different rules and the laws within I could what I could work with, what I need to have to be functional as a business. Is so much that I got to learn and take in that I didn't know. And that's why I agree with you that a lot of other cultures they're exposed to this at a certain age, because of the culture. And we talking about us ourselves as blacks. So and a lot of times we want to do things, and we are doing things, but we might not be going about it in the proper way, or the standard ways, or just what I'm saying, the formal ways, or whatever. You know,
Yeah,
and I think that's where it got to kick in, because business is business, like you said. It ain't just dealing with the
exactly.
blacks or dealing with this. It's a business
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
So
yeah, and I agree with you, Sim, because we, a lot of us still like, oh well, we're gonna put our own flavor, our own spin on how we're gonna do this. I don't want to do it the way that they do it because it's not right, or they might be doing it right. Where a business model, it don't has no color scheme. A business model is a business model, and you have to proceed through those steps to create your business. You can't just be like, oh well, because white people did it this way, I'm not gonna do it that way because oh, they're not gonna help me anyway. Well, that's not, you don't know until you ask somebody. So, but
hmm
I think a lot of us try to do, like, we try to ghettoify our process to make it look different. When if you're really about making money, creating wealth for your family, and trying to help your community out, there are good things to do if you follow what everybody else is doing.
yeah,
You might not necessarily need to do the same thing they're doing, but take aspects of what they're doing and incorporate it into your
yeah,
business.
Yeah,
yes,
I think it's
yeah,
one of those things from both of y'all. It's really what it is the environment. So, for us, we don't have a whole lot of places of environment, work like business wise, where we feel just as comfortable as the other people. You get what I'm saying? So, like you said, the business model should just be for every demographic. We just need to make a place where, or wherever this is, it's where when you come in, it don't feel like, oh, this is people just for white people. Oh, this is just for black people. It should just be a building where you go into and you go like, okay, I am coming to give y'all my business because this business speaks to me just in all in individual ways. You know what I'm saying? Um,
exactly.
and that's just what it is. But we still, with that model, it's still breaking past the ignorance of other people not wanting to
Yes,
get us all to that
yeah.
point.
So this,
Because
this.
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Like, get
No, no,
excited, man.
that was all. You actually good. Go ahead, man.
Because this is why even when I used to have conversation with people about even the urban literature, I used to always reason with them like, a good story is a good story. It don't matter if it's Italian or this or that. And this is why
Hmm.
I was so big on trying to get my book edited up to certain standards, because you see it as this story or whatever genre it was, but I still wanted it to be up to professional standards of the book world. I still want to be within those realms.
Yeah,
I don't want them to be like,
Hmm.
don't deny my book because of these things over here. Deny it based off. You know what I mean?
yeah, because you wanted to speak
So
to everybody. You
Yeah.
want to speak to readers, Sim. You want your book to speak to readers of this genre, not to a specific
yeah,
person. You
Hmm.
want to speak to,
yeah,
hey, if you read book, pick up my book, you read it, and you find it whatever you find it to be, but not because I am speaking to a certain person.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, Oprah and Michelle Obama, their books don't become like bestsellers in the New York Times just because black people are buying it. I mean, they are written for all women. They're particularly written for women of color, but they can relate to all
Exactly.
women who are in the same position that they are in. So I mean, I think that's where when it comes to like black businesses, it's just getting to that point where you can relate to everyone, even though your niche might be an African American person, but
Yeah.
somebody else could go or pick up your book and be like, man, I can feel that.
Yeah,
This is my struggle too.
that's right.
So Sim, I'm
Because a
gonna
lot.
flip this. I'm gonna flip this on you. So, um, you at your business. Say your name of your whole company. It's a
As,
side, right?
aside enterprises,
Aside
yeah, aside.
Enterprises. Now let's take us back. Let's take us before you built Aside. How did you get to that thought pattern? Let's start with there, because now you are the business owner of us three right here. So you are the veteran of this right now. How did you get to the building of this?
Um, it really just came from the more that I was reading and the things that I was exposed to, and I just felt like it's like I was telling you earlier before we got on. It seems like I was promoting for Spotify and Apple and all these company, like I was a third party to myself. So I was looking at it like, man, I want to be able to benefit. Plus, I was seeing like artists and a lot of people that was just, not benefiting from the hard work that they put in. So I figured, you know what? I want to be able to reap the most out of anything I do.
Hmm.
So in order for me to do that, I had to, learn certain things, and the business aspect was really, I had to go learn for that. So that's what pulled me into it. So like I said, now I'm invested. I got to learn these rules and regulations and stuff. You know what I mean?
I got you. And so you start there, and then now you are seen to be flourishing from based on me watching you tracking you on Instagram. You're putting out music. You're bringing artists, you're making books, and so tell us about the downswing of this before you had the upswing. Like I know you probably had some moments where you didn't feel like this was gonna take off the ground, didn't you?
Yeah, because it's like you say a lot of times, like I sit and I do be a little discouraged because things don't happen like how I want them to happen. And like you guys see it, you guys, when I hear like what you just said, that's really what motivates me to keep going. Because there's a lot of background work that I'm doing, and I'm like, it doesn't pan out, and I'm like, man, and I get discouraged. You know what I'm saying? And I just gotta keep getting up, brushing off, and move forward. And it's success in the way of growth, I would say.
Yes.
It's like I'm growing more and I'm learning more and I'm understanding more. So within that way, I'm growing, but I haven't really benefited more financially as of yet. You know what I
Got you.
mean?
Yes.
And that's the end goal. Hopefully, it pays off when you do what you love and it pays off.
Yeah.
That's the end goal. But with the I had my one of my song on the radio station, and they killed it, and that was like I was like, man, and you know I get reviews here and there. You got to go through these process, and you got to comb through so much to learn so little. So that's really what be so discouraging.
And
The
that's
process.
that's the part of it too. We create these arts, like we create this podcast, and we just hope that we rather everyone like it than someone dislike it. But we learn more
Yeah.
from the dislike than we do from the likes. That's just like when you play a sport, you learn more from the loss than you do from the win, because you know what you need to tweak and add to your game to to win to be successful the next time. And that's
Yeah.
but that is the hardest part though, the loss. That's the hardest part, and I know it is for you. Similar, like man, that's the hardest part. 'Cause you said that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this music, and you get this result. But that don't mean you can't. Don't mean you need to stop. No, that just
No.
you need to. All right,
No.
let me dust my shoulders off. They knocked me down, but I'm back. I'm ready to go again.
And one thing that really like all right, so with Amazon with the book,
Hmm.
I will upload the book. So I was dealing with Amazon, and Amazon is supposed to be on demand printing. So here it is. Okay, somebody bought my book and they notified me of a mistake. So I went in and I changed it. So then I get hit again from somebody else, and they're like, "There's another mistake." So I'm like, "Man, I fixed that. Let me go in and I check the previews and everything."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "No, it's good." So I ordered a book, and I seen all the mistakes. So I'm like, Amazon. I called them up, like, "What's going on?" I fix all these things, and people are still getting books for mistakes. So they was like, they printing stocks. So I'm like, hold on, that's not what kind of agreement I got going on with you guys. Y'all printing up stocks. It's embarrassing. I was mortified because it's like what I was telling you. So now people are you making me look bad. So then I had to pull the whole book down again and re-upload it. So for me, if you're a reader
Oh
and you
wow.
just bought my book for the first time, you turned off. You seeing mistakes in this book. You're like, this guy didn't take the time out to clean that up. Why would I want to even read this? You feel me?
Yeah.
So things like that. People don't
Woo.
know about that in the background. Somebody see you, they like, man, that book was trash. It had mistakes, all of that in it. I'm like, man, what it's so much little stories, and I'll be in the background like screaming, why? Yeah, like, oh man, it's
God,
driving me crazy. So it's
that's
a lot of things, man.
that's gotta be tough, man. Because because you're doing something once again. It's not something that you're doing as easy. Putting yourself out there, and like for people to let you down. That's why it's so hard to rely on these other companies. Like you said,
Yes,
it's so hard to rely on them. But like at the end of the day, sometimes you need them to kind of help you push some of your stuff because they
you
got the
do.
resources. Because they got the
Yes,
resources that we don't have. We don't have the resources to push out our products. Like hey, when I push my product, I pay a site that pushes my podcast out. And I pay them monthly. So they're getting money from me to push my something. I wish I could do by myself, and I probably can't. Just with time and saving time and time I have to use them.
yeah. Because I even had a misstep, even with Facebook. Because Facebook, like, I would set a budget and they were just billing me crazy. So I disconnected the Facebook accounts. And now it's like they won't allow me to run advertisement on no platform. So it's like, man, you have to play with these people in some way. Some way, some form. Either that or you got to pay a third party to do what you learn. You got to go out and learn. So I'm like, it's defeating the purpose of learning what I'm learning if I got to go back and pay a third party. But you got to play with them, man. You have to play in some form or way. They structure everything to where they're gonna get paid off of it. You
Yeah,
you know you can't just show your stuff here. They want you like a worker for them, and then you paying them to work for them. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I don't need my own play. Hey, they good at it, man. You know what I'm saying? The business world in America, they exploit
hey,
everything. You know what I'm saying?
and that's
So
where we are at. As black people, and I turned over you to Kendall because you got something. Is we don't know the loopholes. We don't know these
yeah,
loopholes, man. How does Donald Trump only pay? How much was it? Like $700 in taxes? He
yeah,
made way more. He makes way more than us. All three of us combined. So we don't
that's
know
right.
these loopholes, man. We don't know the tricks of the trade. We don't know the game, man. That's what we're learning still.
Exactly,
Kendall,
exactly.
Kendall, you
Yeah.
got something?
Yeah, no, I was just agreeing with y'all, but I mean, too, going back to like the work that's done behind the scenes and stuff, it's just like I think everybody has to look at it as just lessons, just life lessons, and just wanting to do something. Like everything isn't like a frozen dinner, right? You pop it in the microwave and 2 minutes later it's ready. There's work that has to be done, like excuse me, throat stuck. But like when you go to a restaurant, they're cooking. There's stuff going on for your dish to come out the way it look, and it's just like it's trials. You don't get better without failing and working at something, right? So as you fail, you learn a little bit more. Like Sim's talking about, he's doing all this for naught and it's getting frustrating. Well, in about 5 years from now, you're gonna be like, man, you know what? I look back on all that stuff that I was doing that I thought was meaningless, and now something that I didn't think I could take, I could use for this whatever I'm doing now. So it's just all I think I just encourage everybody who's doing stuff like that. If you're not even creating anything, if you're just working your family life, it's just the little things eventually adds up for you, and everything that you fail at, you learn from it, and then sooner or later you're gonna be put in a situation where you're like, man, you know what? I'm actually happy I did that.
Like you said, it's that downside of that story. The negative parts of the story. It's like because yeah, we could read a book about you, and then you go like, oh, it tells all the good point. Hey, I made all this much money here. I've created this. This stuff flourished. I got these many people working for me. But no, the people need to hear about. Okay, hey, I struggled. This was at one point I was ready to give up. I went 6 or 7 months of not really profiting before I started hitting something. Because I remember this example. I don't know. If, I know you know about Kev on Stage, Kendall, but I don't know if you do Symbol. Is Kev on Stage has his app, and he was talking about I'm an LLC. I've had an LLC for about 8 years. I have lost money on of those 8 years, 6 of those 8 years before I started making money. That's crazy. And in California, I think it takes when you get an LLC, it's like $800 or something like that. So you don't know. I don't have that money just floating around, just to be giving out willy nilly, not to be making no profit back on it. So
Yeah.
he goes like, yeah, I look, it looks good from where I'm standing at right now with this. I have my own app. I'm putting my own content out. I'm making these like keep your distance shows and stuff like that. But I have lost a lot of money to get here. I've lost a lot of money that I've invested in myself in my dream to get here, and I had to keep fighting. So that's just what it is. What you got on it, Sam?
Yeah, now that's cool because it's like what Kendall said earlier. The preservation and everything, it pushes you, it makes you stronger and better. And then even to what you say, for it's like life, everything's a risk, a chance, a gamble, and it could pan out either way. But ultimately, it should make you better. Because I tell my son, because I got my son, I want him to run it. This is along the line of creating an opportunity. He didn't want to go to work, so I'm like, here, you run the business. Then you a CEO, you got 3 artists. What you gonna do? You need to figure out what you're gonna do. He built the website. He's looking into the trademarking. Sometimes he goes hard, sometimes he do him, and he don't move at the pace I want him to move at. But I'm learning to just fall back, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm not on. I'm the artist too. So I'm like, what's going on? What step you at? Did you press that? Did you post that? Did you do that? And he just be like, yo,
Yeah.
calm, chill. He be like, yeah,
Yeah.
like yo, bro. You know what? So now he got he got the Messy Payne and Bishop Band. I'm like, you know what? Y'all deal with him now. Now let's see what. But he's been doing his thing and moving forward. But it's just like you say, to weigh it out, man. It's worth it though. Why not?
So, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been in your own business right now, Sim? What's the number
Like
coming on
far as that one, I had it since 2019. Far as legally, the business, the idea was always there. I had Hungry Records before I went to prison
there? Okay.
legally. So then I came back and I just funded this. My son and my daughter. I didn't have them, so now, I felt like I need to leave them something. I felt like,
Your legacy.
when I went to prison, I felt like a failure as a man, a husband, a father. So now I want to come back and try to at least leave them something. You know what I mean? Build something for them to get them to the next level so they could start off higher. That's what we're supposed to do, cushion them up to the next level. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they could get further in life.
Yeah. Ain't no wrong
So
with leaving a generational like system of wealth or a business or something like that. I think for a lot of us, we looked at that as only white people have generational wealth. We can create generational wealth. We just got to, like you said, make it a business that it should outlast you. Sim. Your
yeah,
business name should outlast you. It should be going through
that's right.
your kids, grandkids, and great. It should be something that is upheld till
That-
it can go no more. And we hope
That's right.
that's just the end. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's the end of the world. That's how you want your business. I want my business to carry on through my family until it just can't go no more.
And it's in my mission statement. Like when you go to the company, you read that we trying to create. My friend was reading it. He's like, I don't know if you want to put that in there, because I tell him we devised this company to so we could create our own wealth.
Okay.
So he was like, he was telling me to reword it, but I don't know if I'm gonna reword it yet. But if you go there and read it, it's in there.
Just say you want to create your own wealth.
Yeah, family wealth. I wanted to be able to build on that. And I
Okay,
and I got it in there. We
so
created
let's
because
unpack that. What is the problem with that? Maybe I'm missing what's the problem with it.
he's looking at it from a not only a business person, but as a customer. So he's
Okay.
like, he don't know a customer reading like, I'm spending money with you, make you rich. I want to be rich. Like, he's giving me a perception of other
Yeah.
people. They
Okay.
might be like, I'm sponsoring you. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I took it in account, and but that's the real reason I did it. The name of the business is my son and daughter name, and I say we're the foundation of the future, and the future is built on the past. just to go into what you're saying, it's going to be generational. It should last forever.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you're creating a foundation, and I mean, I mean, the fortunate part is it's supposed to create something generational for your family. And since I'm not a business mind, that doesn't seem as negative to me as it does to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not. I don't have the perception of it to go like, oh, you know what, this is negative, man. Like, hey, you might want to reword that because I feel it is empowering because we don't. It seems to be when we have our stuff, we must reword a whole lot of things just to be perceived as correct.
Yes.
And sometimes, I feel like we get kind of get tired of that. I kind of get tired of having to, auto correct my how I am to make you feel comfortable with what I'm saying. I'm coming off in a way as this is what I want and I see for my family. This is what I want to do for my family, and this is what I'm striving to do. That's what that mission statement. That's the reason why you wrote that mission statement, and I feel like that's the reason why you're having a hard time wanting to reword it because this is what you want to do for your family.
Yes. And this.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, Sam.
no,
No, no, it's good, Kendall. Let me hear you.
go ahead, Sam.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm gonna say because I kind of I come from the business aspect, and I can kind of see where your son's coming from from a perspective too, because everything too is always about perspective.
Yeah.
So when you're selling something, it's different when you can verbalize and tell people what you're doing because they can see you, they can see the passion in you, they can physically tell, oh, okay, I know what you understand. But when people are reading things online, like when you're reading like things, especially when you're reading reviews online and you see people say things and way it's worded, you're like, it will give you that hint of like, I don't, uncertainty about it. Whereas if you remove, like, I think for you, for one, to have it is great. And if you want to leave it, you can leave it. But I think too, if it's something that you're doing inside for your family too, like maybe make it a mission statement, like if for your family, like something that they know that is embedded into the brain. But because I think too, you have to be able to separate your family from what you're doing too. You don't want to tie the two together because that's where you get. If things go wrong, you go be like, oh well, we're doing this for the family. Well, okay, do you can you love me outside of what we're doing here? Like, if all this fails, will you still love me, Dad, or will you be upset with me because we didn't make it here? This our whole life was tied into this. So I think the equal balance between the two.
Yeah.
But as the founder, you are entitled to whatever you want to do. Though that's the
No,
great thing about being an owner.
I agree with what you're saying because me and my son and a couple of people had a conversation similar to that. You know, so I do agree with what you're saying. I do definitely agree with that.
Yeah. But like I said, you're the owner, man. Like this is the cool thing about being the owner. Like you can do whatever you want to do. That's like
Well,
at the end of the
definitely.
day.
Um, it's one of those things, I guess. So what's the outlook for the side the music label? What's the outlook for you guys? So,
You know, right now we got. I'm focusing on. We got the EP coming out. I mean, the EP is going to drop February 2nd, and like I said, we got it available on our site that we went and built and put up.
okay,
It's available on that. Then I'm
Hey.
gonna we're gonna line up like the mixtape that I'm starting to work on, the Messy Painter project, and
okay,
Bishop Bando, because like I said, they're the younger generation, and I kind of started all of this to motivate them to go. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's their time.
okay.
So now they kind of motivated. I want to go ahead and push them, and more step back behind the business scene
Got
because
you.
I need to have that urgency and I need to learn more. I need to be in more control of my destiny. And so we got a lot going on. We got the clothes. We branding the clothes and we do custom made whatever you want. Like you guys, I'm gonna have to do I'm gonna have to take you guys logo and send y'all some material. We do the custom made as well
Oh
as we
man,
got our clothes.
because I'm definitely
Hey.
looking for someone that could do merch. Cause I'm trying to get. I want to do merch with our logo on it. So maybe we
Yeah.
can hook up and collab, and we can talk. However you charge for it, man.
Yeah, send me the logo. What we do, you send me the logo and what y'all want on it, all y'all plugs on the back and what's on the front.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and do it and do one for you, one for him, and I send it to you guys. And
Okay.
if you like it, we just move forward from there. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. Hey, see
Hey.
that's how you make that conglomerate almost in that sense, because you start branching out and people start because like what should we could do and work on, and then like I said, people see that and then like, oh man, who made your stuff, and then boom, that
Yeah.
ties right back to you, and then you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, and that's how that
Yeah.
branch keeps going, that tree keeps getting bigger.
It keep branching off. Yeah, and that's why I see it's crazy, right? Because I'm learning that money within itself is an opportunity. And if you don't have money, there's so much things you cannot do. We can have all the ideas in the world and we can't accomplish them. You know what I mean? So, but I know I'm all over the place. But far as the
No, you're
label, like we
good.
have the clothes, we have the music, and the book. And I'm
Gotcha.
working on some visual, man. Are we working on some visual? We putting some visual together to entertain the people, because I do have another book and I want to make it into a mini series, but I want to go ahead and create a buzz. So we got a lot that we about to do. We putting it together. So hopefully we could create a buzz and entertain the people and build a loyal fan base. You know what I mean?
I got you. So
So
Hey, nothing
with
wrong with
all the
that.
music and you got the artists and whatnot, in this pandemic, have y'all figured out an alternative way to have any shows? Have y'all been doing any showcases by any chance during this time frame?
that's what we're looking into, right? And I was really trying to line up with some organization or even some local businesses and local charity like the churches and all of that,
Ooh.
like say my best friend, she was in a shelter, so we went and we bought some things and donated to the shelter that housed her and her kids. And Bishop Bando, he's a troubled kid, and we want to start talking to he wanted to talk to other kids, that's in the same situation as him. And so I'm looking to connect with some organization, and if we could throw some free shows or just do whatever. We just want to get in the mix and rub
Yeah,
elbows, so
yeah,
I feel like we want to we want to be able to give back to the community first, wherever we're from. So I'm trying to network and connect with some of those people first. We did a food drive. We did a food drive in Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? We did a little
yeah,
food drive in a little neighborhood. We like little stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So we want to probably hopefully connect with some churches. We got to find a border because people don't want to be associated with everything, and
I
we
got
want to
you.
respect whatever they feel. But I'm trying to
Yeah.
connect with the neighborhood people first, though, and grow from there.
You're in a hot because you're in New York, so you got like you're one of the best music scenes in the country. So you so New York, California are like the two best music scenes as far as like hotbed of music. So I mean, dude, from what it sounds like, man, you're already on a good track. You just gotta keep working, man, because that
That's it.
your hard work gonna
We
pay
just,
off, man. Your hard work gonna pay off.
yeah,
Your
man.
determination and your passion gonna pay off, man. It's one of those things like so. As some people who are trying to create business, make a business, like I'm trying to create my own merch line. How would I myself need to go about putting my ideas and thoughts together? 'Cause I think my worst thing, Sim, is having a lot of ideas but not being able to get them out and put them on paper. How do you work through that workplace?
I just had to do it. That's how you get the ideas out. You just got to do it because if they stay there long enough, they become fears and doubt.
That's for
So
me. That's
I
definitely me.
had to learn to do it because we are our worst enemy. So for me, I just got to do it, man. I have to do it. I got to jump out there sometimes, and whatever it goes, it goes. You know what I mean? Because if not, I'm just thinking about it, and then it passes, and it passes. You know, and
That's
I'm
where
still
regret
thinking about
comes.
it.
Yeah, that's when that regret comes because like,
Hmm.
man, I could have did this 3 years ago. Because 3 years ago I was thinking
Yeah,
about
man.
this. And so okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, that's definitely me because I be having so many ideas of creating other content visually for us for YouTube to kind of get myself out there, so like that. But like you said, I hold on to it so long it becomes a fear, or I feel like I can't do it, or something like that, or I can't execute it to the level I want in my mind. So I feel like I've already failed before I even.
Not gonna do it.
Yep.
My yeah. My cameraman is like that. Yo, we wanted to do it. He do a few things for us, but he stays within a certain realm. And sometimes, you don't know what you're capable of until you do it. And you also need some positive people around you that encourage you. Because if you see on my posts, I'm doing a lot of stuff that I don't really do. You got me. I just post that dance and stuff. There be people around you encouraging you, and you like, all right, you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And you do it. Sometimes you got to step outside yourself. You know what I mean. We be too, and like we said earlier, life is short, and a lot of things happen. So just do these things. Do what you think about doing, and just make some good memories or whatever it is. It's a story to tell.
Pretty much having fun. We gotta do a better thing of having fun with life, enjoying it. We're not
Yes.
enjoying it. We're taking ourselves too serious, and so that's where we go like, oh man, I can't do this. So you have dances, man. You just having fun, man. Because somebody on the outside looking in is like, I can't have that fun that Sim's having. Like, that's how we gotta look
Yeah,
at that.
man.
We gotta perceive it as you making music, Sim, and you might feel like, okay, I got these negative comments, but then it's also someone on the other line like, man, I wish I had a studio space where I can make my own music and make an EP and put it out, just like the clothing line, just like the book. You got so many things. There's perspectives of people who also envy you because you're doing these
Yeah, man. And
things.
I hope that envy turn into motivation.
Yeah, that's what you
You
want.
know
You
what
don't
I
want.
mean?
Yeah, that's what you want.
We want to empower people, man. That's really what we want to do, man. We want to empower them. If he's doing it, all right, I could do it. You're right. Because I got to tell my man, the only thing that separate people is the action. Those people that take the risk. Those people that take that chance. I got to tell my man, only thing that separate, a killer and this person, because we are capable of doing it. So it's the action. So we got to squeeze that trigger, man. We got to do it, man.
Kendall, what you got for me? You chilling over there? What you got for me, man?
Oh man, I'm just listening to y'all, man. Y'all got that. Y'all have the goal, like the the entrepreneurs. Like that's just. I'm gonna be real. Like we're all got different things that we do in life, and like that's just never been like my thing.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
it's great to hear y'all talk about it because I'm more of the kind of person like, what can I do to see? I relish being in the background, helping people get out. Doing the unsung work. I don't like that. My life is not made. I could just be where I am now or be where I was and just be content and happy that I'm alive to see another day. So I relish in seeing you guys push. And Sim, you talking about somebody that motivates you? I feel like I'm that for Destin. I don't know if he thinks so, but anytime he comes to me talking about like, nah, brother, you just gotta keep pushing, bro.
No,
So
he
I
definitely
mean,
is, Sim. He definitely like, cause like
yeah,
when I've created, like we might have recorded a podcast, and man, I'm like, man, I'm not liking how this came out, man. I'm like you said, Sim, we are our own worst enemy. I am enemy number one in the state in my own house on my own self, man. I be sitting here looking at some of my stuff, or I'm listening back to audio, and I can hear certain things that maybe no one else is picking up on, and it kills me. And it makes me to the point where I want to just scrap the whole thing, And so, and it has to get to a point where I have to text Ken. I go like, "Hey man, hey, I'm sorry, brother." He's like, "Man, it sounded good, man. You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, man, it sounded great."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. I'm just being so hard on myself, man, and I can't get that monkey off my back. It also too keeps me humble. It keeps me fighting to make something better, better content too.
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
fact though, because when I did the first one with you guys, because I had already did one. I did maybe two already, and when people was comparing, and it's like you control the conversation, you stared it, you asked the questions, and you kept it all within, and we was like, yo, that was good, and you guys are very, you guys articulate your words, everything you express, it's good, it's very good, so we was like, yeah, we done made it, we was on the top podcast, yo.
I'm glad you feel like that, man. Because I be,
Yeah.
like I was like, I'd be like, man, like, and that's another thing too is having a better outlook on what we have done, man. Because me and Ken Ted, we've been leaps and bounds from the first episode we made to right now. It's
Yeah.
so different with the audio quality, and now we're trying to get the better, with the visuals and everything. Um, it's definitely took some time to get our mic voice. Kendall's come out his shell a whole lot. Man, I had to drag this man, like, add your personality
yeah,
to it, man. Like, because I think for the longest time he thought it was me and he was like the Pips or something like that. Like I was Gladys Knight or something like that. No, dog, you right, like my man, you right
Hey,
here
it's
next to
coming
me,
through,
man.
huh?
You my partner in crime, dog. We this is our podcast. Look at that logo. When y'all see that logo, it's both of our faces next to each other. It ain't
Yeah,
my face and his face is like way back there. Hell no. I can't run nothing. I can't do this podcast without my man right here. That's how I
that's right.
Hey.
feel. And
Hey.
so,
Yeah, man. I think that's why it works too, because we're like so different too. Because I told Dexter when we came down to see it, like I had my law books. I'm studying. I really want to go to law school, trying to figure out how to pay for it. But like, I feel like that's my passion is to give back and help people, and I feel like, especially like through that avenue, just hear like Kev talk about his legal problems, like just working things. Sim, you talk about. I'm just like, I'll holler at y'all in like 10 years when I can get through and I find somebody to sponsor my college degree because $100,000. Hey, or maybe I can go buy some GameStop stock and pay for it that way.
I know that trend's still gonna be popping. Yeah.
yeah, man.
Hey, listen.
But I feel like we can. Do you got any closing remarks, Sim? You know, because I feel like we had a great episode here. We're about at 40 minutes, about the same thing we did
Yeah.
last time. You got any closing remarks before we get out of here?
Yeah, we got to, shout out, Asai Enterprises. You guys got to go check out
Yes,
the site at
sir.
Asai Enterprises. That's AASY,
Hey,
enterprises.com. Check that out. We got the EP out, Top Shots on deck.
Shot,
We got the
yes.
Messy Painter coming up. We got Bishop Bando. We got the book out, The Factor. New cover, edited, re-released. We good. We got some more things in the work, but that's what we got right now, ready.
Got you.
You know.
I appreciate that. Kendall, as always,
hey.
closing remarks for us. What you got for me, man?
Yeah, man. What I got for you today is something that Sim said earlier about the system in this country. Like, the country's going to make its money. Well, obviously, we learned that this week, if you guys haven't noticed, about GameStop. And I want people to know that, the last 4 years we heard about Make America Great Again. We heard this election cycle from the other side that we're going to get back to America. Well, can I just tell y'all something that America's never been for regular people like us? No matter what color you are, probably much if you ain't like riding in Bentleys easily, then you probably are with us. If you're struggling, you're with us. We all look the same, and it just shows us from this past couple of weeks with GameStop and Reddit that rich people aren't gonna let y'all get in on the fun either. So when we're talking about today creating businesses not only for black people, but I think everyone should get into the mindset of finding something, doing, even if you're a 9 to 5B, you can stay 9 to 5B, but I think it's time for us to switch our mindsets about what are we doing it for, because obviously the start market that we have right now ain't for us.
No,
Obviously when
man,
you
it's
get
right.
your,
Got you.
so
Hey man, I love both closing arguments, man. I can't say anything better, man. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Hit us up at the Smooth Way Podcast on Facebook. Hit us up on Way Studios on Twitter. Hit us up on smoothwaypodcast at gmail.com. Leave us with comments, suggestions for the podcast, anything that you want to add or you think we should do better, man. Hit us up on YouTube, Smooth Way Podcast. You're gonna be able to see Sim in all his glory, man. He was on here the first time. All we had was audio, but this time we got audio and visual from my man Sim, man. But like I said, man, y'all keep pushing the culture. Y'all keep loving people. We're doing this for all of us. It's our country. I mean, why not share it? But this has been the Smooth Way Podcast. I have been Destin, that has been Kendall, and our guest again, Sim Campbell. We out.
Okay,
Peace.
we're out. Peace.
Stop that real
See,
quick.
that's how I need to close it. Like how you just closed it. Get